Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Marcy. I'm getting ready to go for a run. I recently started running because I have stopped losing the weight that I was very nicely losing before. So um, my nutritionist and my physiotherapist decided that I need to bump up by adding a little bit more. So I've been doing a bit of walking and a bit of running and some exercises. Oh, some tips that I was told. I put on my Facebook page that I'm not enjoying running at all, and some tips that I was told included putting a baby on the pram and doing a pram run. So that's what I want to try today. I'm going to do a pram run. I'm going to run with the baby in the pram. Well, he's not a baby anymore, he's a toddler. Anyway, so before I quickly dash out, I want today to talk about my experience with gestational diabetes. I have an acquaintance who's pregnant. She's in her 30s, expecting her first baby, and she was diagnosed with gestational diabetes. And I've been reaching out to her, and I remember the fear that I had the first time that I was told by the doctor that, well, first it's, oh, congratulations, you're pregnant. And then, oh, I'm so tired. When is this fatigue going to end? No, I'm a bit worried about your weight. Anyway, so let's resume. So I had my daughter when I was 28, and I was very, very tiny. I was, I think, 45 kilos when I got pregnant, and by the time I was giving birth, I had really, really put on a lot of weight. Then I lost most of it back. By the time she was 6 months old, I was in my 50s, which I absolutely loved because I finally had a body that had some meat in it. Particularly loved the fact that now I had an ass, which was really, really huge for me. I stayed at that weight for a while, and at some point I got diagnosed with postpartum depression. And I started taking some antidepressants because I had been going through a lot. And well, they made me put on weight. That's one of the side effects of a lot of antidepressants is you put on weight. So I kind of put on weight, and it was really hard to lose that weight. Also, during that same time, I got diagnosed with polycystic ovaries, and that also makes losing weight a bit hard. I'm going to talk about both this in different videos. So I so by the time I was getting pregnant with my son, I was older, and I had already, like 2 years before I got pregnant with him, I had been told that I was pre-diabetic, and I was scared. I know what diabetes does, and I have a friend who actually specializes in diabetes, and I told him that I was pre-diabetic, and he got worried, but he's a good doctor. I mean, he's more of a friend than a doctor. So he did the friend thing of not scaring me, and he just, kind of told me, okay, you know what, I'm here if you have any questions, if you want to know what to ask your doctor, if you have any concerns, just let me know. But he didn't freak me out by telling me, oh my, you really need to do this. So when I got pregnant, I reached back to him and I told him, oh, so what does this mean? I don't remember the numbers, but I just sent him a message and told him, how bad is this number for a pregnant woman? And he's like, wow, please don't tell me that's you. And I'm like, what? He's like, that's actually quite bad, but it depends. Was this for the 3 months, or was it for just after the meal? I was like, I have no idea. The doctor just told me that. And he's like, okay, this is what you need to ask the doctor. He gave me the list of what I need to ask. So I went to my dietitian, and so he told me, okay, first we're going to try get you a nutritionist, and we try and control it with diet, because apparently in Switzerland they don't give medication to pregnant women. if you have diabetes, you take, if you need to be medicated, they will give you insulin shots. So I said, okay, I don't do needles, so we are going to get this diet thing done. I did my best with the diet, it just didn't take. And after like 2 weeks, he was like, no, your numbers are too bad. We actually do have to start giving you the shots. So he showed me how to do the shots. What I hated the most was measuring my blood sugar every. I see people doing that for weight loss and they keep measuring their blood sugar. And I'm like, I hated doing that thing. I find it painful and I can't imagine doing it just for weight loss. I'd rather just not eat the carbs. Anyway, so I kind of got into the habit of measuring my blood sugar and knowing what to eat, what not to eat, being able to read the signs of when I have eaten the wrong thing and when it's too much, when it's too little. There are things that I totally cut out of my diet because, like bananas, I can't control my banana intake. I can't eat one banana. I can't eat, there are small things that I can't eat. And so I just cut them off because I was like, nah. I ended up, actually, the only fruit that I ended up eating, which I ended up overeating, was apples because apples were quite friendly with me. I had to give up watermelons, and then the summer came, and I was like, damn it, how am I going to survive summer with no watermelons? Um, and so I had to take, at first, I had to take the shots every morning, and then and then it was moved to I had to take one shot in the morning and one shot in the evening, and then it went back to just taking in the morning just before I gave birth. Then I was induced at 37 weeks because they normally induce. I forgot what the reason was. And one of the fear was that the baby was going to be big. It turned out to be smaller than Binta was. And but otherwise, I mean, aside from all the fatigue and the having to take time off work and the fear and the worry, I think it was a great pregnancy and the baby came out fine. And I mean, he had high blood sugar for the first a few hours of his life, but then after that he was fine. I hated being induced though, but that's a whole other stupid, painful conversation that I don't even want to have. Anyway, um, what I can say about the diabetes is I totally wish, because even now, my doctor is worried that if I don't continue losing weight at a faster rate than I am, because he feels that, okay, I'm working from home, so I'm not getting in as much walking and exercise as I should, which is true. And he's also worried that about my eating, and which is also true because I have a toddler, and as much as I try to not eat in between meals when I'm giving him something, I'm really trying to buy the right foods, to have only healthy snacks in the house. And yeah, but then sometimes, well, things happen. And yeah, so I just need to get myself a bit in a better frame of mind and to be able to just handle this. So if you're watching this and either you have type 2 diabetes or gestational diabetes or type 1 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes, you probably had it for most of your life, so you know how to handle it. But then the type 2 and the gestational are the ones that come later on in life. So, I mean, if you're dealing with diabetes in any form that you've discovered as an adult, what I would say is, I mean, the best thing is, one, don't panic. The worst thing you can do is panic, because once you panic, how are you helping yourself? Accept it. Accept that, okay, fine, this has happened and I need to deal with it, and then figure out how to deal with it. Second thing would be get a good nutritionist, because weight loss, diabetes, it's mostly nutrition. It's seriously, even I'm going for a run now. I hate running, but I know that what I've eaten today was good. I know I've eaten lots of veggies. I know I've eaten very little sugar. I know I have drunk a lot of water, lots and lots of water. I know that I'm doing the right thing, so that works out well for me. What I kind of wish I did more was eat less um, com- what are they called? The white carbs and the those ones. I need to eat a bit more not refined, yes, refined carbs. I need to eat a bit more complex ones. I can't stand brown bread. I can't stand all that. But it's things that you get used to. The other thing is, if you're pregnant, it's easier because you're worried about the baby. So you're thinking more about the baby and you can take care of yourself. Turns out that women actually tend to take better care of themselves when they're pregnant, and then the day after they stop having the baby, they just let things go. They let themselves go. I, in theory, lost quite a lot of weight when I was pregnant because the first day that I went to the doctor and the day I gave birth, I was exactly the same weight. So, factoring in the fact that the baby was growing, I kind of lost weight. That's so the doctor told me that he's quite impressed that I was able to maintain their diet. And honestly, it was not a struggle. It was not a struggle at all. I could walk into a place and people are having whatever they're having, and it won't bother me. I will just enjoy my glass of water, and everybody else is having sodas and stuff like that, and it won't bother me. But now I'm not walking into anywhere where people are having wine and I'm not having a glass of wine. It's I think because I don't have anybody that I'm hosting in my body. It kind of makes me not that worried about the consequences, which is not a good thing, but I'm working on it. None of us are perfect. We're all a work in progress. Anyway, so if you're going through that, if you're going through diabetes and you feel like you're worried and you're scared, and they tell you all these things about. I remember the one thing that I was really scared about was how fast my eyesight was getting bad, and eventually actually ended up and now I have to wear really strong bifocals, which I never had to wear before, but they were a bit worried about that. And it was the one thing that I really worried about. The other thing was the fact that the baby could have been too big and I would have had to have a cesarean. I have nothing against women who have cesareans. I just don't think they're for me. I do not know why, but I believe that I should be giving birth, and when I come out of the hospital, there's no more healing that needs to be done. That's how I feel about it. But I mean, if it ever happens that somebody needs to have a cesarean, it's fine. If somebody chooses to have a cesarean, it's fine. I have nothing against other people having them. I just don't want to have them myself. It's just something that I pray for every single time I'm pregnant, that God, do not let this happen. I am not wanting a cesarean. I remember telling my doctor, he was like, "Oh, we need to discuss in case there's a cesarean." I'm like, we are not talking about cesareans because they're not going to happen. Do not even bring that thought into my head. Get that thought out of your head. Nobody is cutting anybody to get any baby out. And well, so all I can say is I wish you luck in your pregnancy if you're having gestational diabetes. And I think don't be afraid to ask your doctor questions. Don't be afraid to tell your doctor what you're afraid of. Just I don't know, he is there to answer your questions. He's there to alleviate your fears, and you should just be open with them and tell them, I'm scared, this is happening, and I feel like this, and every single thing, every small symptom, Nothing is too small. You never know. It might be a sign of something. And then after the baby is born, just be grateful and continue with what you are doing right. And I mean, I'm lucky enough that I'm in a country where the health insurance is actually going takes care of quite a bit of what I'm doing now afterwards. So, but even if even if it's just, even if you're in a place where that doesn't happen, it doesn't cost anything to walk more. It doesn't cost anything, and it's also a good time to bond with your baby. Just take the baby and go for a walk. It doesn't cost anything to not eat junk. It doesn't cost anything to not snack in between meals. So it's a great thing to be pregnant. It's a scary thing to be pregnant and sick, but it's a wonderful thing the minute that you have a baby in your arms and you know that you did everything you could to make sure that he or she came into the world in a happy, healthy manner. So now that I've given you a bit of history of how my diabetes pain was. I'm hoping that you can, if you're going through it, or if you know somebody who's going through it, you can just encourage them. There are lots of things and videos that you can watch that can help you. Just get a nutritionist. Do not go for myths. Just do the right thing. No shortcuts. Just do the right thing. I mean, it's only a few months, so you can do that, and then once the baby is out, you can do whatever you want with your body. It's your body. But then remember, you're a parent. You also need to worry about the fact that that child needs a mother. Okay, I hope that you have subscribed. If you have not, here you go. Subscribe now. I'm giving you 2 minutes. Okay, 2 seconds. One, two. Okay, subscribed. Good. Now like the video because you've watched until the end. Like it. Great. And then watch the description for a few links to things, to information that can help you with finding a bit more about diabetes. And let me know in the comments if there are any topics you would like to discuss, or if you had gestational diabetes and you would like to encourage somebody who is going through it or who is scared about going through it. See you all, family.